To them, it might look like you're, oh, I'm a punk, she's scared, she a punk, but it's like, whatever. Like, you're not worth it. That's how I see things. Like, I'm
You know you do, baby. Do anything to make it me and you, baby. Let her sign me and scream and put me in the mood, baby. Everything that I got, I'm trying to get at you, baby. Ay, you got it, girl. You got it, girl. Ay, already about this goddamn ring.
What's poppin'? It's your girl Kati Wap back at it again with another video. If you are new to Kati Crew, please subscribe. And don't forget to like, comment, and share. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys 15 tips on how to do well in college, how to succeed, how to do well, how to do outstanding, not even well, how to do outstanding, how to excel, how to get them great grades, them good grades, man, how to stunt, how to flex with your report card. No, just kidding. But yes, I'm giving you guys the tea. I'm giving you guys the tips. Most of these tips I've used, okay? And it helped me get far with my college career, and it can help you guys get far. So let's just jump into this 15 tips on how to get good grades in college video. Let's go. Let me stop talking and let's go. Let's get with it. Some of these tips can also help people in high school as well, but this is more targeted to college students. I will work on trying to make tips for high school students, but for right now, this is just college. Sorry to my high schoolers. I'm sorry. It's still love. It's still love. I'm shy. Okay, let me stop playing and get started. All right, so I got my glasses on. If you guys don't see that, cause you know I'm in serious mode. When I put the glasses on, like it's no more playtime. I get into serious mode. So that's what's happening right now. I'm in serious mode. This is me doing work for my college courses and just work in general because your girl, my eyesight ain't the best. My eyesight ain't the best. Okay, I'm kind of a low key blind. Okay, let me not put that out there because I'm not blind, but it'd be a struggle to see sometimes. So these glasses really help me. And I actually wrote things down in my notebook. If you guys want the details on this hair, go check out my, not my last video, but my second to last video that I uploaded, newest video, because all the details on the hair will be there, but I also tagged this hair in my description box. Yes, it's cute, it's cute. Also, my last video was the Unbox With Me planning edition, and I spoke about this notebook. This was my recipe notebook, actually. This is my recipe notebook. But then it turned into my New Year goals notebook, and then it turned into my YouTube notebook. But I have more planners and books that I purchased. If you didn't see my last video, go check it out because I have some cool stuff there. And that's one of those books, the planner, is gonna turn into my YouTube book, but I'm still using this book for now because I'm just like stuck to it a little bit. But yeah, I have everything written down here, and I'm gonna tell you guys the tips that you guys need to succeed in college, all right? So we're gonna start right now. Let's go. All right, so number one, this is like the most obvious thing ever. So number one is to get to class on time. Get to class on time, stay at class for the whole time. And I know we're in the quarantine kind of distance learning period right now. So this still applies, but you just have to log into class on time. So if your class starts at 10 a.m., you shouldn't even log in at 10 a.m. You should be logging on to Blackboard at like 9:45, trying to log in. Be there 5 minutes early. It doesn't kill you. I've done it several times. And when it's just you on there with your professor, sometimes it's one or two other students, but sometimes it might just be you and your professor, and you can just talk like, hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And professors like that. Believe it or not, they like when like their students are kind of not too invested in their lives, but like just polite and respectful and professional. So do things like that, and it definitely will help you. Another thing is to, when you go to class, like you just being there, like physically being in class and being there on time doesn't mean everything. Yes, it means something. It's important, but it doesn't mean everything if you're not going to contribute to class. So make sure that when you're in the actual classroom setting, you're contributing. What you're saying is not just nonsense, or it's just things that don't make, it doesn't make sense. Like make sure you're making sense there and your contributions are meaningful, okay? Make sure that you actually impact the class. You make the classroom environment a more positive and get an engaging environment when you're there and present, whether it be if you guys are in the classroom, whether it be if you're just taking online classes. Make sure your presence is meaningful and impactful, because professors really pay attention to that. Because if you're absent one day or you're not there, like class is still gonna go on. They might not feel it that you're not there, so you wanna make it like, you want to make your presence so big and your impact on the class and contribution so big so that when you're not there, they'd be like, oh man, Kati Wap ain't there. Kati Wap's not here today. That's why it's like this. This is why it's like boring, or it's not so engaging or fun, So you want to make it seem like, okay, I actually really contribute to this class. Like when I'm there, it really makes a difference. You want your presence and yourself being in class to make a difference. So do that. Another thing is complete all of your assignments. I know this is obvious as well, but you need to complete all of your assignments. And not just do them mediocrely. Like you have to do them well. Do them well, okay? Take the time to do your assignments. Put time aside and do your assignments, okay? Complete all of them. And be respectful to your professor, but not only to your professor, your classmates as well. Sometimes I know there might be issues with your classmates, but if there's a problem, just look at the bigger picture, your education, and just your standing within the school. You don't want to jeopardize that, so don't try to be rude or start fights with people. Try to just kind of brush it off or ignore them. Like, you know, to them it might look like you're, oh, I'm a punk, she's scared, she a punk, but it's like whatever. Like, you're not worth it. That's how I see things. Like, I'm at the age, and I've been at this age for a while, since I was like about maybe 16, 15. I've always thought like, you know, I'm not going to fight like you gotta pick your battles. You can't try to fight everyone and argue with everyone. Like, some people are just not worth your time. Do not give them the time of day, because what they're trying to do is take you off that pedestal that you're on, or take you off track. Like, you're on track and they're trying to make you be behind. They want you to step back, take 10 steps back. And you don't want that, so just ignore them. Everyone's not worth the fight. Every battle's not worth fighting, so just ignore them. And if it's something something you can't let go of, do it in a manner that's still respectful, kind of, you know, like where you can still come off as respectful and not more in a disrespectful, rude, harsh kind of way, because that can really jeopardize your standing in a school and with your professors and just other people in general. You just never know who's around and who's seeing or watching or who heard what happened. So keep that in mind, friends. And now we're on to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is get an agenda or planner. If you did not see my last video, Unbox with Me Planning Edition, go back and watch that, because I spoke about that. And in that last video, I spoke about my planner for college. I've had this planner since I was, upside down. I had this planner since I was a freshman in college, yes. So the fall of 2017, I was a freshman in college, and I bought this planner, and I still have it. And I still have some things written in here. It's kind of small. It's gotten pretty small because I rip out pages. But this is just some stuff. I know my handwriting is pretty sloppy, but yeah. I still have some stuff written in here, and I just write the class title, the number, and then I actually write what's due in the class. And then just check it off, you know, like as I go, check it off as I complete it. So you see the checks down there? The checks show you that I completed these things, and I check them off, and I always write the date at the top of the page. So you write the date, then you write the class name, and then you write down what's due in the next couple of days, or when you next meet, or a major assignment that's due, and you got to remember. I always do that. I always write it over, even though it's repetitive. I still write it so I can remember. And as I complete these things, I check them off. So this is pretty small, and after I finished it, I just ripped pages out. But yeah, as you can see here, it's like, this is my planner. This is it. This is it. I know it's a mess, but this helps me. I know it looks really messy to you guys. You probably don't understand it, but this helps me. And this semester is about to start, and I have a couple more pages left, and I'm going to get started actually today writing in here. So this really helps me to keep my things organized. I know some professors have actually been shocked when they see me actually writing in it, because normally in this day and age, technology is really up there, it's really advanced, and everyone has an iPhone or a phone, smartphone, and they're just taking pictures, screenshots, taking photos of just like the board and what to do. But I just like to write things down. If I'm really in a rush, I might take a picture, but that's rarely, like really rarely. I write things down so that I can check it off as I go. I'm that kind of a person. I'm kind of like a checklist, to-do list person. I like to check things off, and I've always kind of been that way. Since I was in elementary school, we always had planners to write down our homework in, and when I went to after school, I would always check things off as I completed them. And I don't know, my mom's the same way. She likes to write things down too and check them off too, kind of, and just it keeps me organized. So I like to do that, and I think you guys should do the same thing, because you guys have so much stuff in your phone. 9 times out of 10, most people are not going back to their phone to look at that camera roll to see what's really due. And those are most of the people that end up not doing so well in class. So you don't want to be like that. Just get a planner, write down what's due, and check it off as you go. It keeps you organized. If you don't want to do a planner, at least get like one of those big calendars, or just a calendar in general, and you can put it on your wall in your room or somewhere in your home. You can just write down the important dates or whatever is due there, and you can do that. I don't do that because I don't really have space for that right now, so I just do this. This is pretty small, and this is pretty good. I could bring this everywhere. Every time I go to class, it's in my bag, and all my bags when I go to class, and I always have it with me. And even during, right now, distance learning, remote learning, I have my agenda right near me when I'm working at the desk. It's always near me. So do what works with you. You can try out the agenda, you can try out the small one, you can get a bigger agenda, or you can try out a bigger calendar, or just a small calendar, writing down the important dates or whatever dates of what's due, what's upcoming. Tip number 3 is my favorite. I literally put the extra and extra credit, okay? Kati crew, if this meme was a person, it would be me. I kid you not, this would be me. And I love extra credit. Like, I really do love extra credit. And I think this all stems from when I was in elementary school, and my teachers used to give us those sticker charts, and like whenever you raise your hand, they can participate, and whenever you are behaving well, they'll just give you a sticker on your chart, and you fill it up, and then you go to the treasure chest and pick out a prize, whether it be candy or a toy. I used to love filling up my chart. Like, it was always be a competition for me to fill it up and just be quick with it. As soon as I got a new chart, I would just rush in to fill it up. And then in high school, not professors, my teachers, and they weren't professors. My teachers would always give out extra credits if like you bring in tissues, because people would always be blowing their nose and they need tissue boxes, and then teachers don't always get paid as much as they deserve, to be honest. And I'm working to be a teacher, so I know this. And I've learned from experience and speaking with teachers that they don't. So, you know, at the beginning of the school year, they buy a couple supplies for the class, but then like when things run out, it's like money's kind of hard. They got their own family to take care of and any other expenses. They can't keep, you know, buying things for the class and stuff all the time. So they will say, if you bring in 2 boxes of tissues, I give you 5 points extra credit. That kind of a thing. Or bring in a box of dry erasing markers, like 5 of them, I'll give you 5 points extra credit, or 2 points. And I would do it. Like, people would be like, I'm not spending my money on that. Like, I'm not spending my money on that. Like, all right, guy. All right, tough guy. Like, okay. But I would do it because, you know what? Even though sometimes I didn't need the points, and people would always tell me that you don't even need the points, da 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 da. What are you averaging, an A, a B? Like, okay, so it doesn't matter if I don't need the points. It's still good to have them because you never know what can happen in the future. Like, I can't tell what's going on in the future. Like, I'm not a mind reader. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. So it's good to have those points in your back pocket just in case you happen to come to class late one day, or miss class one day, or do terribly on a quiz or on or an exam or regular test, and you didn't get what you wanted. Like, you get a C instead of getting the B plus you were trying to aim for. That would help bring your grade up. And that's what people don't get. And they just seem like they're scared to ask, or they don't want to ask, and they think it's needy or it's below them. Like, it's not below you, trust me. It's really not. Some professors and teachers tell you off the bat that they're not giving extra credit to you at all, like as soon as the school year begins or semester. Kati crew, this is the face that I make when my professors say that they're not giving out extra credit and not to ask for it. But you can still ask and be respectful. Like, ask them in a respectful manner and stay persistent. But don't be aggressive, too aggressive. Be respectful and, you know, just still ask. Be persistent. They like that. They like to see the ambition and they just like it. And some of them do cave in. Some of them have caved in. Some of them have told me at the beginning they're not giving extra credit, and then they end up caving in because I'm persistent, I ask, I'm respectful, and they know I'm ambitious. Like, I'm a hard worker. So they already see it and they're like, why not? Let me just give it to her, and they give it to the class too, not only me. You know, I'm always an advocate for myself, but I'm also an advocate for the class sometimes too, because not everyone's as brave and bold enough to speak up. And, you know, I like to get extra credits. Kati crew, this is how I be itching and fiending for extra credit on the first day of classes and just throughout the whole semester. So, you know, I like to speak up. But just do it because you never know. I try to tell my cousins this, I tell friends this, and I just think I'm crazy. Everyone just thinks I'm a crazy, greedy, extra credit lady. And that's not really the case, you know? I just think extra credit really makes a difference. Whether you need it or you don't need it, it can still make a difference. You never know. And it's just good to have, you know? It really is. And it's just, sometimes it's not always just bringing like little supplies in. It is actually doing extra assignments and work. But that ends up helping you overall anyway in the long run. More practice with your writing, more practice with math if you're getting extra credit in math, and it just helps overall. It makes you, you know, I'm always up for a challenge, so it's basically is a challenge. So I definitely advise you guys to ask for extra credit. If you know some professors do give extra credit, then complete whatever they give, and you can still ask for more. If some professors don't or teachers don't give extra credit, still ask. It doesn't hurt. The worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to say no. That's it. But you can still try to ask again at a different time. You know, be respectful when you ask too. Don't just be too aggressive. All right. Be persistent, but also be respectful, please. All right, let's go on to the next tip because I could go on all day about extra credit. I don't want that. I don't want that. All right, so the next tip is get at least 1 to 2 people's numbers in your class. So for me, when we were on campus, I would actually like to get like at least 1 or 2 people's numbers. Like, we're not people that are typically like friends. Like, don't try to get like your best friend's number in college, because unless they really are a serious person and actually do complete their assignments and pay attention in class, fine. But if that's not the case, then try not to get their numbers. Try to be friends with and get people's numbers that actually do pay attention in class, that take great notes, that are respectful students, people like that. And I tend to stick to people that's close to my major as well, because we're in the same major and we help each other out. So when you get people's numbers, it's a good thing, because if you miss class one day or you didn't understand something, you can always ask them before going to your professor to ask, what did I miss? Or I don't understand this. You know, maybe they can explain it to you in a different way. And same thing with them. If they're absent, you can give them the information what they missed, and you guys can help each other when it comes to assignments that you can actually help. Because some assignments you're not supposed to be getting help from other people. So not like tests or anything like that, but you guys can even study together, or you guys can create a review sheet and share it. There's so many different things you can do. Just don't be scared, okay? Reach out, whether it's in a classroom setting, whether you guys are doing remote learning, you can still reach out to people and try to get their numbers. If not, you should already have everyone's emails in college, because you can just go to your course on Blackboard and you can see everyone's email, and you can just email them too. So if you don't want to get their number or you think numbers are too personal, just email them. Just reach out to 2 people and try to just have like that kind of bond and form that relationship where you guys can email about certain things in regards to your class. The next thing that we're going to go on to is number 5. Tip number 5 is go to the tutoring center. Okay? So some professors like to give you actually extra credit for going to the tutoring center for writing assignments, sometimes for math, but it's typically writing assignments. Like if you're writing essays, research papers, they always love to say, if you go there and I see that you're working hard to do well, I'll give you extra credit. And even at my school, I know that the writing center, they ask you if you want your professor to be notified that you came here. And I always check yes, because some of my professors don't say they're going to give me extra credit by saying to notify them, but I just do it anyway so that they can see that even if my paper's not the best, that they can see that I was making the effort to actually go there and get assistance. You feel me? So you guys should do things like that. Some of them love for you to go there. So you go there, make sure you have them notify your professor that you went. If your school doesn't have that notified system, then you can also just tell your professor or get your tutor's name or something, name and email, and let your professor know that you went to that person. But they should give you a receipt and let you know that you went there, so you can show that to the professor as well. But yeah, the tutoring center is a great place, and you should just go there in general anyway, because my school, they actually offer free classes. They're free grammar classes, free thesis writing classes, free punctuation classes, those kinds of things. And I think more students should take advantage of it. It's free anyway. Like, you're paying tuition, you should be going there and taking advantage of it. I've been to a couple of them, but I haven't gone to a lot recently. But they are great courses. I just haven't made the time to go and do it, but they're offering them online now, and I definitely think I will do that. Because grammar and punctuation is an important thing. Like, I don't think it should have just been something we just learned, focus more on in elementary school, and then keep building on in high school, because we really didn't. I don't think we really continued to build on in high school. And I constantly see people, because I work with freshman students and I also work with elementary school, and I just see like other people too, and it's just like a lot of people struggle with that kind of stuff, and it's just like, it's because they just stopped it when we were younger, kind of, and like the focus just shifted. But anyway, that's for another day, another story, because like I can go on and on about that too. So we're gonna go to the next tip. So now we're on tip number 6. Use the rubric with which you will be graded with to help you. So, especially when it comes to your writing courses, and like maybe history, you get rubrics for writing your papers. So this is one of my rubrics from last semester. If you can see here, I have it highlighted right here. Highly effective, which is a 4. Okay, I have that circled because this is the column I'm focusing on. The only column I'm focusing on here is 4. Of course, you should read all of them. 1 to 4, you should read each column and know what's expected in each column. I just focus on 4 because, yes, these are 1 to 3 are important, but they're not that important. Like, 4 is important because I'm aiming to get a 4 on each component. I'm aiming to get a 4 on each criteria that's listed here. So that's why I'm focusing on the 4. The rest really don't matter. And I feel like if you want to do well on your papers too, that's what you should focus on too. As you're writing your paper and you're doing things and you're hitting each criteria, you should be going over to the number 4 and see what's expected of you. Let's say this is an introduction. Okay. Introduction says to do this and that. Make sure you're looking at the 4. Whatever 4 it says it has to be there, you add that into your paper. Then you go down, body paragraphs. Then the same thing. Look at the 4. What does it say? Make sure that whatever is indicated under this box in number 4 is implicated in your essay. Same thing for the conclusion and so on. This rubric actually has nothing to do with introductions, body paragraphs, and conclusions. I just made that up to just give you guys a better, a clearer understanding of what I'm trying to say. But what I'm trying to say, again, I'm going to repeat it, is use your rubric to help you shape your paper. Use your rubric to help you shape your paper and create your paper, okay? And do not, look at the highest number that you can get on a rubric. For each section, under each section or component, criteria, look at the highest number that you can get. Typically, I think it's always a 4 or a 5, but it's typically, I think, a 4. So a 4. Always look at the 4, or whatever is the highest number you can get. Look at that and look at all the boxes there. You got to make sure you hit each of those points in each of those boxes to get the highest score on your paper. So make sure you're doing that. That definitely helps. And that's how the teachers grade your paper anyway. They use the rubric. They give you the rubric to let you know what's expected of you, but then they use the rubric to grade your paper to make sure you're hitting each of the points that they want you guys to hit. And if you don't hit each of the points, then they're looking at the numbers. So they're looking at, okay, she did better than a 1. Okay, then they're going to 2. She did better than a 2. Okay, they're at 3. Yes, she did It's definitely a 3. Let me look at 4 now and see. It looks like it might be a 3. Let me look at 4. Yeah, she definitely missed this point in 4, so it definitely has to be a 3 for this part. And that's exactly how they do it, and that's how you guys should do it to help you. That's what I do with my papers, because it makes things easier and there's no confusion of having to go back and forth with my professor and ask her, okay, or him, what did I do wrong here? Or, you know, how can I do better? When you have the rubric, you already know ahead of time. And this typically comes with your syllabus in the beginning of the semester. If not, whenever you get an assignment, they should have a rubric attached to it. And you can always ask for one too. Don't be scared to ask for one if you don't have one. Okay, we're gonna go on to the next tip now. So the next tip is number 7. Don't wait for the last minute to ask for help. So that just goes for asking a friend in your classroom, a classmate, that even asks, that goes, sorry. So that goes for asking a friend in your classroom, your professor, even going to the writing center, maybe even asking a family member, or even going to your local library and trying to see if you can get help. The tutoring center at your school should be free, and they offer assistance maybe from like 10 or 9 to like 5, 6. So don't be scared to go there or log in online and try to schedule an appointment. Don't wait to the last minute. The last minute is like the day of your assignment being due or the day before. Those are the last minutes, because you shouldn't be waiting that long. And once you get an assignment, just jump right on it. Jump right on it. Just because it's due in a month, don't wait till like a week before it's due to complete it. Or don't say I got time. Start working on it now and just do little by little. And if you can finish all of it beforehand within the first week of you getting the assignment, go for it, okay? Because you never know what's going to happen in the future. And when it gets closer to the deadline for the paper to be submitted, you never know. The craziest things can happen. You know, and we don't want you to be in that situation where it's like you're struggling, you're trying to email your professor, you're begging, like, oh my gosh, you know, something happened, it was a family emergency, or my computer broke down yesterday, so I am not able to submit the paper. Like, they don't want to hear those excuses. They really don't, especially when you get their syllabus at the beginning of the semester, or you get an assignment a month in advance. They don't want to hear those excuses, okay? Save those excuses. You're in college now, you're not in high school, you're not in elementary school. There has to be a level of responsibility, and you have to hold yourself to a higher standard, and that's kind of where your professors are holding you at. So they expect you guys to be adults. At this age and day and time, you're an adult. You're in college, you're an adult. That's what they're viewing you guys as anyway. If you're in college, you're 18, they're viewing you as an adult. So you can't make up excuses and just tell them things. Especially some professors really won't buy it. If you have like a much more nicer and understandable professor, they might buy it, but still, just be responsible. Complete your assignments ahead of time. Do not procrastinate. Don't wait to the last minute. Do the work. If you need help, ask for help. Ask for help ahead of time. Even me, I've had friends, family members needing help with assignments and things, and it's like they come to me the day that it's due, or the day before it's due. Like, I need more time. Like, you can't just come to me and drop this on me without giving me a heads up. Like, I need more time, like, because it makes me stressed out and overwhelmed. And of course, I would love to help them, and I do help them, but it's just like, I don't like to be in this kind of situation. So imagine you putting your professor in that situation where it's like, you waited to now, like, I was free all this time and now you want to come to me, you know? So just have that level of respect and hold yourself to that higher standard so that things can work out both for you and your professor, and things can go smoothly, all right? The next tip is 8, make or join a study group. I'm not a fan of study groups, but I just think I work best alone, because the study groups, you can kind of get off topic and be distracted by people, especially if they are your friends. But if you like to work, or you work better with people, make a study group or join one. I know we're in distance learning, remote learning at this point, but you can still hold Zoom conferences where you guys go over your notes and certain topics that you guys are having trouble with, and you can do that. And even in class, sometimes your professors break you up into groups to work on certain topics, and that's kind of like a study group. So just make sure you have people's numbers, their emails, and you get in contact with them. Reach out to them, or even if your school has a school app, go on a school app and ask, like, hey, you know, so-and-so, like, any of you guys want to be join this study group? You know, I've seen people doing it on my school app. I've been getting notifications of that happening. So don't be scared to start it, or even just send out a blast email to everyone in your class, or your course, and you can just let them know, like, hey, I'm thinking about creating a study group. Would any of you guys be interested in joining, just to help, so that we can help each other and support each other throughout the rest of the semester, that kind of a thing. You can do that. Don't be scared to. Tip number 9 now. Use index cards for studying. Okay, so you can use index cards. That used to help me a lot in high school. I've done it in college too, but I've only done it for like classes that are really based more on vocabulary. Like, if it's like a lot of vocabulary that they're focusing on with those kinds of professors, then I'll do it in those classes. I haven't done it recently, but they do help. They do help when I'm actually going to give like an oral presentation doing that. So that's a good tip too, though, just in case for like, I think it might be good for like maybe math if you're heavy on the vocab, even science courses if it's heavy on the vocab. You can use index cards for that. Definitely will help you. I also said to record yourself listening, record yourself like maybe record yourself reading your notes, and then you listen to it repeatedly, or whatever important things you need to remember for a test or just in general for your class. Record yourself saying it, and then listen to it repeatedly, just like you listen to music 24/7. Listen to that, and it's going to help you. I've done that before. I've done that before over presentations. I've done it for exams. Just recording myself going over my review sheet and just going to bed listening to it. Just listening to it for like an hour before going to bed and falling asleep listening to it. And then the morning too, before I'm heading to class, going to class, I'm listening to it. So do those days in advance to help you. Okay, we're gonna go to the next tip now. So tip number 10, have a positive attitude, okay? Have a positive attitude. I know we all go through things, and it's like, I don't always have the best days, but like, I don't go into class with like a nasty attitude, you know? I go in there, I still try to be an active member of the class, and you know, if I'm not gonna be an active member of the class, then I'll just sit quietly. I'm not gonna go in there making noise, picking fights with my classmates or my professor. So don't be like that, you know? I try to be great every day, but not every day. Let's be realistic. Every day I'm not gonna be great and be like the top #1 student in the class every day. I mean, that's my goal. That's what I try to work towards being and doing. But sometimes, you know, I have things that happen in my personal life, or you know, and I just don't want. Everyone has those days when you just don't feel like yourself, or you're a little down. So it's like, I'm not gonna be as loud, as bold, as active. You know, I'm gonna just be a little calmed down. But I'm not gonna be going in there with like a negative Nancy attitude. You know, like being rude and disrespectful to people around me and just making the environment around me a negative environment. So don't do that. And also have a growth mindset over a fixed mindset. A growth mindset is just thinking, okay, let's say, for example, you get a C on an exam. Don't think a growth mindset would say, a growth mindset, someone who gets a C would be like, it's okay, I'm going to do better next time. I just got to study more. And if I need any help with things, I got to speak to my professor. If I need any help with any of the topics, I just have to go see my professor. A fixed mindset person would say, I'm terrible, I'm bad at this topic, I hate this class, I'm never going to be good enough, I'm never going to be smart. And you don't want to have that mindset. A growth mindset is you thinking you can always level up and you can always be better. Fixed mindset is you thinking like you can't do any better than where you're at already. And you don't want to have that kind of mindset. Sometimes you might get humbled or get like a slap in the face by a grade or something your professor tells you about something you submitted. And don't let that bring you down. Like, do not let that bring you down and let you think and make you think that you're not good enough or you can't be good enough. You can always be good enough. It's on you to say, okay, this happened. All right, what am I going to do next? So you can either go into that little bubble where it's just like you're tearing yourself down and you're bashing your professor and other people, or you can just take the responsibility and put on your big girl, big boy pants, you know, go to tutoring, get the tutoring, ask a friend for help, speak with professor, speak with a different professor, not a major or somewhere else that can give you guidance and help. And your school also has, they should have guidance counselors, not guidance counselors, counseling centers. So those people can help you out too if you're feeling down about certain things too. So definitely take advantage of that too. And especially with this whole pandemic going on, racism is like at an all-time high. Also, we're all dealing with personal issues. A lot of people are suffering from unemployment and other things. Make sure you guys really utilize the counseling center, because mental health is important. You are important. You matter. Your emotional health, everything, all the 6, 7 different types of healths matter. So make sure you're taking care of yourself as well. So that's another thing. Now let's go on to number 11. Tip number 11: make time to study. Okay. I know this is a hard thing. A lot of us have busy schedules, but you got to make time. Whether it be going to your school's library to just stay there for a couple hours and get work done, or going to the library in your local community and just getting work done, or trying to find or make, you hear that? Find or make a quiet space in your home, okay? Because my home is not really that quiet. It's a lot of us here. It's about 5 of us here. When my father's here, he's constantly talking on the phone. He's just a loud person. So that's pretty distraction. And even when I'm just working in the front of the desk, I have like my family members, siblings, or parents coming up to me trying to talk to me, and it's like, it's been annoying, you know, because I can't really focus and get work done. I don't have the space to be somewhere where I can be quiet, so I have to try to make space. When the corona wasn't happening, the coronavirus, I was able to spend time at my school's library for like 5 hours and just work, or go to my local library and spend like the whole day there until it closed. From the time it opened to the time it closed, just getting all my assignments done, because it was just better for me. That was a better situation, because I know if I was home, I wouldn't get as much work done in that time span, and it wouldn't be as better as me being at the library where it's much more quieter and I don't have people constantly come up to me asking me things or making noise in the background. Yeah, there was some noise at the library, but it wasn't as loud as my own home. And when you're in your own home, you get too comfortable. When I'm at the library, I'm comfortable, I'm not gonna be too comfortable where it's just like, I'm not gonna get as much work done. So you gotta figure out what works for you, and I hope you guys can find this safe and quiet space where you can get your assignments done. So you gotta just look for that. Whether it be go to the library, if you can stay at a friend's house and study, great. Make sure you guys just find somewhere and something to do and go to, because your assignments need to be completed and you need to do well on them. I want you all to excel, okay? So don't forget about that. On to tip number 12. Prioritize your schoolwork over friends and family. Prioritize your schoolwork over friends and family. And by this, I mean, if you know you have assignments to do and your friends asking you to go out or to come over, let's hang, da-da-da-da, sometimes you have to say no. Majority of the time, you have to say no. You have to say no, because your work should come before hanging out with your friends 24/7 and doing things that's not really important. Your schoolwork is more important than some of the activities you probably do with your friend. I get it. If it's an emergency situation and your friends really need you, like if they're having like a mental health breakdown, then I get it. In those kind of situations, you can go over and try to comfort them. But you have to make sure that you put your schoolwork at the top, above all else, okay? And that comes over family sometimes too. You know, even my family sometimes get a little butthurt because I'm not around all the time, and it's like, I'm in college, I have assignments to get done, and I have to work. I can't be around and having fun and playing games all day. Like, I'm in serious mode. Like, at the end of the day, my money's being put on the line, my time is being put on the line. I need to give it my all. I can't play around. Like, I'm an adult too now. Like, I can't play around. I can't be having these games going on. Like, I just can't. I have a lot to lose. There's a lot on the line. You know, I need to stay focused. I need to work hard. Everything else can wait. I mean, obviously, if it's an emergency or important situation, I'll be there for my family members, but I can't be there every day where they want me to, just to be chilling and hanging out and just living as if I don't have responsibilities, because I do. And the same should go for you as well. And even in college, people have tried to really be my friend, and I've been really reluctant because I always said that, like, ever since going into college freshman year, I've said that I'm not here to make friends. I know that might seem a little harsh, but it's true. I'm really not there to make friends, because friends, majority of the time, are distractions, and I don't want that. Like, I just want to do well in my classes, and then that's it. And I used to always say that. People used to tell me freshman year, inviting me out to parties and inviting me out to events that the school was having that were like fun events, and I never went. And my thing is, I'm not here for that. I'm here to do well in my schoolwork, and then I'm going to work. That's it. Like, that was my mindset. That's still my mindset, because I don't need to get whipped up, I guess, or mixed up with the wrong crowd and just be in situations that I could have avoided. And that's what I try to think about. So I keep that in mind all the time. You know, not all company is good company. So keep that in mind too, with college and friends and just people in general, trying to peer pressure you into doing things or going out places you don't really want to go at. Prioritize your schoolwork over family and friends, okay? Tip number 13. Have a good rapport with your teachers and professors. Have a good rapport with your teachers and professors. That means have a good relationship with your professors, okay? And by that I mean greet your professors. When you see them in class in the morning, if you're the first one in or you're coming into class, good morning, professor. Good afternoon, professor. Good evening, professor. Same thing when you're on the online classes, when you're logging in and you're like typing a group chat on Blackboard or Zoom. Say good morning, or you can use the mic and actually speak and say good morning, you know? What else? When you're leaving the class, goodbye, professor. Thank you. Have a good day. You know, be respectful. Act like you have some manners. Show your manners, okay? And if your professor's actually also struggling in class, like they're really trying to get someone to participate and people are not participating and they don't want to call anyone, but they just want someone to volunteer, help them out. Like, you scratch their back, they're going to scratch yours, okay? Not literally, I'm just meaning figuratively, okay? I'm just meaning, like, you know, if you see them high out and dry, like no one's participating, or just making the class seem so boring because no one wants to help them out by participating and being engaged, you do it. You don't have to wait for someone else to do it. You do it, okay? You do it. They're going to respect you so much more for that. And they're going to remember that. So, okay? Next time you see a professor struggling, no one wants to participate, everyone's in a bad mood, or they're not engaged, disengaged, you step up. Step up to the plate. You put on your captain, your superhero, what is it called again? Drape? I forgot what it's called. Superhero, whatever thing is called. I forgot what it's called. And you step up to the plate and you handle that. You do that, okay? They're going to respect you, I promise you. They're going to respect you and appreciate you so much more. Okay, Next one, number 14. Hold your professors accountable. Okay, I do not mean this in a disrespectful way, but you gotta hold them accountable because some professors will say one thing, but then the syllabus is saying another thing. So make sure you know your syllabus, which is going into the last tip. Memorize your syllabus, okay? Because sometimes they'll say one thing, but then the syllabus is saying another thing. So if you memorize your syllabus, then you will know, okay, this is not adding up. And you gotta call them out on it, but you're not gonna be disrespectful about it. I'm gonna repeat that. You are not going to be disrespectful about it. You're gonna call them out on a respectful manner. You can pull them to the side, you can email them, or you can just say, excuse me, professor, but actually in the syllabus it says this, you know, so I'm just wondering which one is it? But you gotta be respectful. Don't be disrespectful. Don't try to clown them in front of the class because some professors might take that the wrong way and be really like upset, and you'll get on their bad side, and you don't want that. But yes, hold them accountable, you know. Normally on the first day of class, the first week of the semester, school year, professors always tell you what their goals are for you guys and that what standard they have set for themselves to meet for you guys. And if they're not meeting it, or they you see that they're starting to like drift away from it and not really meeting it, you can speak to them about it. Pull them aside, email them, you know. Just, yeah, pull them aside or email them and just let them know, like, professor, at the beginning of the class you said this, and like, I don't really see this happening, da, 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 da. Like, you know, just let them know, and then they're gonna be like, she pays attention, he pays attention, like, wow, they remember this. And some of them love it. Even myself sometimes, like, professors have said before, oh, the paper is due next week, and I'm like, no, you told us you're giving us an extension. Obviously I didn't say it like that. I know that my attitude kind of came out just now when I said it, but I was just like, excuse me, professor, you actually told us it was due 2 weeks from now. So, you know, I've brought that up, and that's why people love having me in their class sometimes, because it's like I always speak up. Some people are scared just because you're a professor. I get it, they're your authority, they're the authority in the classroom, the room, but you guys still have a voice. Just because you're the students in there does not make you seem like you cannot speak up. You have a voice, you can use it to speak up, and if they're telling you one thing and then switching it up or going back and forth, you can speak up and ask about it and just say, I just don't understand, or, you know, you said this last week, now you're saying this today. Just, you know, speak about it, because if you stay silent, you're just gonna kind of get walked all over, or it won't really your learning experience won't really be the best. So it's like a team effort. You and your professors, you guys are working together. You and your classmates, you guys are working together. Any professor. So you guys all need to be on the same page. So make sure you guys are all on the same page. And if that means you have to hold your professor accountable, hold them accountable, because they're always going to hold you accountable. Trust me, they really will. So those are my tips, guys. Those are my 15 tips, okay? I really hope these tips help you guys. They have helped me, and I've done pretty well. Pretty well. I've came a long way, and I've done pretty well considering all the extra obstacles I had to get over in my college career, whether it be within my courses, whether it be family, other stuff. It's been a long road, but I think I know a thing or two. And if you do not believe me, I will insert my grades, possibly. Yeah, I will insert my grades for one semester in the in this video, actually. Yeah, I'll do that. It's not too personal, I guess. I'll insert my grades for you. And if you have me on Instagram, you already know my grades because I posted it before. So, and you typically see my grades when I post them. Kati Crew, I have inserted 2 images from the 2019 fall semester and the 2020 spring semester. So my grades are here. You guys can look at them and see that these tips actually work. So you guys should definitely implement them and use them so that you can have great grades and have a successful semester as well. I do wish you guys all the best of luck this semester. You guys have a great semester. I promise you guys, if you implement all of these tips, if you use them, if you like Bible these as like the best tips, like plaster them on your wall, you know, you are going to do well this semester. I hope you all do well this semester. I hope you all have a wonderful semester, okay? But in order for you guys to do well and have a wonderful semester, you have to put the work in too. Don't just pray to God every day like, I wish I do well, I want to get outstanding, I want to get all A's this semester. You have to actually put the work in, okay? You can't just pray about something. You have to actually physically put the work in. So put the work in and you guys will do well. I love all of you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like it. And if you did like it, please give it a big thumbs up because that helps me a lot. Please comment down below too. Let me know if these tips were helpful. Let me know if you have used any of these tips in the past. Let me know which tip was your favorite tip. And don't forget to share this video and to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Thank you guys so much. Bye.
You know you do, baby.